Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to set up the new Hyperspin Arcade build. Uh, this build's really cool. It's only 50 gigabytes. It's more geared towards like an arcade cabinet. It's arcade only. It's just MAME. It doesn't have any of the other stuff in it, although you could add that later. It's really just meant to be something small and something really polished that you can use on an arcade only type cabinet. It's not going to have like Nintendo, Sega, Genesis, all that stuff on it. It's just MAME. It's really only 3,000 games, but it ends up coming up to like 36 collections, and it's actually a really nice build for arcade. A lot of people want to have, a full MAME set, which is just, in my opinion, is completely overkill. 90% of the games are no good, and you'll literally never play them. Just takes you longer to get to stuff. 3,000 games is a pretty good build. So what you're going to do is you're going to go on the website. You're going to download these 6 zips. Okay, you can put them anywhere you want, your downloads folder or whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, to install this thing, all you're going to do, technically you can just click this one, but for some reason sometimes it creates an error, so I just do them all. It doesn't hurt anything either way. Okay, I'm going to open up 7-zip. Okay, just go to extract files, and then as far as the destination, you're going to click here. It doesn't matter what drive you put them on, but it needs to be on the root of a drive. Okay, so you can just put it on the root of an E drive, a root of a Q drive, whatever drive you got. You could put it on your C drive if you want. Okay, but it needs to be right on the base of it. So all you're going to do is select a drive. I'll select my E drive right here. Okay, so the extract to path should look just like this with your drive letter. And then you're going to click OK, and it'll extract the build to the base of that drive. So when you do that, what you're going to get is you're going to get a folder like this called Arcade Only Build. Hyperspin needs to stay inside that build. It's set up to be inside that folder. Okay, you open that folder, you're going to see Hyperspin, and you're going to see a symlink folder. Okay. The symlink folder has this text in it. Now you're going to open it. You can open it with regular Notepad or Notepad++. I always use ++. Okay. This has the commands for your symlinks. Suppose I should explain that a little bit. So with Hyperspin, you can't tell it where your art is. So you can't put your wheels or your videos or anything in any different folder and tell it where it's at. So what that leads to is, if you have an arcade build like this, for example, you have MAME, and on another front end you would just have all your videos for MAME, all your themes, all your images and everything in one folder, right? And then you would just point every collection to that folder. Hyperspin won't let you do that. So I came up with a trick. I found a trick on YouTube and just made it work a little better. Okay, what this is called is a symlink. So this folder is actually empty, but if I click on it, look, here's all the themes for MAME. What it is a shortcut to that MAME folder that has all the art. So those folders are actually empty, and that saves you from having to have duplicate videos and duplicate wheels and duplicate themes. Saves a lot of space. That's how I was able to get it down to 50 gigabytes. So to get this to work, you have to run these symlinks though, okay? So you're going to open that file. It should look just like this. And then you're going to open a command prompt. So if you don't know how to do that, you go down here to your search box and just type CMD. Okay. And then I'm going to click Run as Administrator. Okay. Then all you're going to do, when you get this build extracted, those media folders won't even be there, the ones with the arrows. This process will actually create them and create the shortcuts for them, so all your art will show up. So you're going to highlight the entire thing, okay? You can hit Control A, but sometimes when you do that, it'll select a bunch of empty space at the bottom. It doesn't hurt anything. I'm just kind of OCD about it. So you're going to highlight the whole thing, copy, then you're going to click on your command prompt, and you're going to hit Control V. V is in Victor, and that's going to paste it. Okay. When you paste it, it's going to run a series of commands. The last line won't run on its own. So after it's going to run a long series of commands where it tells you it's creating symlinks. It only takes a split second. And then you're going to hit enter when it's done, and it'll run the last line. That's it. You can close command prompt, and that's going to make all those links for the media folders. Okay. So then your Hyperspin is going to be set up. Okay. So now I'm going to show you how to set up your controllers. So in MAME, to set up your controllers, you're going to go ahead and start. We don't use the UI version. I don't remember what the reason was. It's been a while now, but I don't use that. So just open the regular MAME Arcade. Then you're going to go to Configure Options. You got to click on it and then hit Enter on your keyboard. Okay. And then you're going to go to General Inputs. Go to player 1 or player 2, however you want to do it. And you're going to want to map, obviously, up, down, left, right. You don't need to worry about right stick or left stick, really, just those first 4. And then you're going to want to map buttons 1 through 6. You can do buttons 1 through 8. There might be a couple games that use the 7 and 8 buttons, so go ahead and do that if you like. But the most important ones are going to be 1 through 6. Okay. And that's all in this menu. So you're going to go to Return to Previous Menu, go to Player 2, up, down, left, right, and then buttons 1 through 6 or 1 through 8, whichever you decide. And do the same thing. Going to go back to Return to Previous Menu. And then you're going to go down to Other Controls. In Other Controls, you'll find your Start buttons and your Coin buttons. Okay, you're going to want to set up Start and Coin for Player 1 and Player 2. And then the same thing, you're going to go Return to Previous Menu, Return to Previous Menu, and then you're going to hit Save Configuration. Okay? Once you do that, you can exit. You don't have to set up your directories or anything. That's all you got to do. Your controls are set up, and you're ready to go. I'm going to exit MAME. Well, that's weird. Usually it'll exit when I hit Escape. Okay. I think that's it, really. There's a couple other things you can do. I'll show you. Let's see, in RocketLauncher, RocketLauncher UI, RocketLauncher UI.exe. Okay, so a lot of these games have multiple bezels, or they have multiple, the default bezels. There's actually multiples too for vertical and horizontal games. So sometimes you'll launch a game and the bezel that comes up, sometimes it'll just be missing, and then other times it'll be just a bezel you don't like, or a bezel that doesn't fit. There's thousands of bezels in there, so I'm not going to pretend that they're all right. Okay, most of them are, but when you come across one that's not, you're going to want to be able to switch it. So if you go to Settings, and then you come over here, let's make this larger here. So you go to Settings, come over here to Bezels, and I know this looks confusing. There's a lot of stuff in here, but it's all set up already. You don't really have to do anything, so don't be intimidated. As long as you only do what I'm showing you here, it'll be fine. So go to Settings, go to Bezel. Okay, here where it says Next Bezel or Previous Bezel, you're going to want to set buttons for those, and you can set button combinations if you like, or whatever you want to do, and that'll allow you to change the bezel in game. So if you start a game and it's got a stupid bezel or the bezel's missing, you can hit your hotkey for next bezel, and it'll cycle through the bezels that are available for that game. So basically, you're just going to open this little keyboard deal right here. Okay, you can delete mine if you don't want to use that, and then you're going to go Add. Click on the camera for, I guess that's the capture hotkey. And then you're going to hit the key you want or the combination you want. Okay, after you do that, you have to click on this little disc here to save it. That's how you set your next button for bezels. Okay, And the only other thing is going to be your exit. This is going to take me a second to find because I haven't had to mess with it in a little while. Controls. Okay, exit emulator right here. So the same thing with this. Click on that, remove mine. I always leave escape just as a secondary option if your controller quits working or whatever, right? So you're going to delete my Joy 7 and Joy 8 hotkey. You're going to hit plus and do the same thing we just did. Click on the camera, hit whatever buttons you want to be your exit. I do like coin and start at the same time, and then it'll exit a game when you press coin and start at the same time, just to make it easier. Now, as far as setting this up, if you have an arcade cabinet, hopefully you have iPac, because those are seen as keyboard inputs, and it's much easier to set up with Hyperspin. If you don't have iPac, you've got to dive down the rabbit hole of XPad or Joy 2 key, which some people find easy and some people don't. You can look it up on YouTube. There's some videos on there. I'm not going to go into that because I can't possibly set up everybody's controls for them. Everybody's setup's different. Everybody's buttons are wired different. But it will work with an Xbox controller, okay, and a keyboard. Now, as far as your Xbox controller, I've had some people tell me it works right out of the box. If it's not working, that's an easy fix. So you're going to go to Hyperspin and see in here in your scripts, Hyperspin startup script, okay. That's that startup script. What that will do is automatically start it uses this script to tell Hyperspin what inputs are what, right? So it's set up automatically by default for an Xbox controller. What you're going to do, the only thing you have to do to make that work, and this isn't necessary if your controls are working, you don't have to do this at all. But what you're going to do if they're not working and you want to use an Xbox controller, you're going to go to HyperHQ. And then you're going to go, let's see, again, it's been a little bit since I done this. Okay, so you're going to go here to Startup Exit tab, and here's your startup program. Okay, and you see this right here? That's my startup, the path to the startup script, but it's not right, is it? Okay. So you're going to click that little folder, and then you're just going to navigate to your startup script. Let's make sure I'm on the right drive. Arcade only build, Hyperspin, scripts. Okay, and you're going to select startup or Hyperspin startup script.exe. Okay, and that will use your ini here that's set up for your excuse me, for your Xbox controller. You set that, and it'll start the script when you start Hyperspin, and then your controller will work in the menu. That's it. And I think that's everything. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know. Post on the page or leave comments here on YouTube, whatever you want to do. Hope you guys enjoy it. It's a really good build. There's another video on my channel here that shows kind of a walkthrough through the build if you want to know more about it. So enjoy.